So you are on the market searching for the best home studio light on the market, but without robbing a bank. And I have here the Zhiyun M20C that you can buy as a combo with all these different accessories. What is my thoughts about this one when I owned the Zhiyun Molius X60 that I'm using in there to film this video? If you want to know that and much more, stay tuned after the intro. Hi everyone, Marcus here from madpack, and if you love tech and if you love discounts, this is the place for you. And today we'll be talking about this light that I have to say to you guys is a must-have if you have a studio and if you want to use it on the go, because this light is really powerful. For the price, I have to say, is really almost impossible to beat. So inside the box, obviously you'll find your cables, but also you'll find a 4-lead barn door, you'll find your honeycomb grid, and obviously you'll find another diffuser to be able to set it up with this camera. And another thing that I found really interesting on this one is that you can use them all together, or you can just configure in the way that you want. So if you want just to use the honeycomb grid, you can. If you want just to use the diffuser, you can. But if you want to use the diffuser with a honeycomb grid, you can do it. But the only thing that you can't really use is if you want this one, yes, it stays in place, but it's not really good. So to use this one, you should be using always the other one, the honeycomb grid. Inside this one, you'll find this 18650 battery that will give you about 40 minutes of battery. So if you think about that, this is the battery of the Molius X60, and if you put side by side, almost just the battery of the Molius X60 is the side of this one, and this one just gives you 10 minutes more. Obviously, when you are using the X60, the Molius X60, you have 60 watts and here 20, but believe me, 20 watts is quite powerful, because where is that light? If you're going to see the review that I've done about the Molius X60, I was using this one in there and I had plenty of light no matter what. So when we talk about charging times, it takes about 2 hours to charge this one, but to be honest, I would like that this battery, I could remove it and put another one, because in that way, if something goes wrong with this battery, I could replace it for a new one. And also, if I'm on the go, I could have multiple 18650 batteries to replace it and to continue to use this one. But unfortunately, Zhiyun doesn't give us the opportunity to do that with the M20C. When we talk about the effects available in here, you'll find exactly the same effects that you find on my Molius X60 that I have reviewed last week. And if you want to see that a little bit closer, definitely check that other video. The biggest difference is on the one that is called music, that in here, because you don't have a microphone, it will not recognize the sounds. So it will be similar to the disco that you'll find on the Molius X60. So now let's talk about the benefits of this light, and one of them is these 4-lead barn doors that I simply love it. Something that, for example, I don't have on my Molius X60, because this can be very directional, and even if this light is now pointing to me, it's basically not affecting the light on the back. But if I completely open, you'll be able to see that it's now affecting the back of this room, and that's definitely something that I don't like to do. So on the previous video, I was using this one where I have now my Molius X60, and this feature, if you buy the combo version, it will come included, so definitely a plus. So the other big benefit is this honeycomb grid that I simply love. It is something that you can do basically with a softbox that I have to pay separately on my Molius X60. But if we jump here, you'll be able to see that if I'm pointing my hand, now is getting that light, but if I'm here, you can see that now is not really pointing, but I'm really close. And now if I just take this out, now is basically too much light, so it's going to soft everything, and it's going to be very directional. So you don't even need the barn doors to use this honeycomb grid, but I like to use both together. The other benefit is this extension bracket that I can remove my light to just put it to charge, and if this is attached somewhere, I don't have to try to disassemble everything, so definitely a plus. And another thing that you can see here from the top is the fact that I can, for example, attach here my microphone and it stays there in place. So definitely a plus, and you have more than one. So imagine you wanted a different light to control more of the whites, you could attach here. So definitely something that I really like on this one. When you talk about the closing and opening mechanism, it's simply amazing. You have this one that you just have to point it out, and it's really, really great quality, as you can see. Another thing that I really like about this one, and I hope that this works out to show to you guys, is that these have magnets. So you can basically attach to any surface that is metal. I just put some metal behind my shirt, and now the light is connected to my body. And last but not least, even if you have already a diffuser here, you have this external diffuser that you can put on top. So if you are using your light too close to an object, you'll be able to have that light pointing. And also another thing is, if you need that is even less powerful, you can put also this grid, the honeycomb grid, on top of it, and it will make the light much softer. Another thing that I really like is the fact that since they are so cheap, you can basically have multiple lights, and if you go to their app, you'll be able to change everything. So you are able to change the temperature, I can increase the brightness, I can reduce the brightness, and also I can change the color. So if I come here and I change to blue, it's going to change to blue. If I change to red, it's changed to red, and so on and so on. So that means that basically, imagine that I'm here, but the light is in there, and I just want to see on the screen how much that affects. I can basically go on my iPad and do all those changes on the go. Imagine that the light is quite far, and I don't want to be constantly going to the other side. So I can just come in here and changing the brightness. So now I'm reducing, now I'm going to make it much stronger. So it's much easier, and is very responsive. So something that I really like, and is a company that is always trying to improve. I contact them saying that the part of the colors were not working. They sort it out in basically less than 48 hours. So definitely a massive plus, and they are always hearing us, and they want to know how they can improve their products. So definitely a plus from Zhiyun. So let's talk about how thick it is, and basically is the same thickness as the battery of the Molius X60 as a reference. And if you look in here, you'll be able to see that obviously is longer than a credit card, but if I put like this, is smaller than a credit card, so definitely a plus. Let's talk about something that I'm not so happy about it, that is this cooling system, okay? And when we look to this cooling system, yes, it works really well, but is much more noisy than my other one, the Molius X60. So if I put my microphone closer, let's see if you guys can hear. So when we talk about the kelvins and the range, this one is simply incredible, because it starts from 2700 kelvins like it happens with the Molius X60, but it can go up to 10,000 kelvins, something that, for example, the X60 only goes up to 6,500. In distance, if you go up to 1 meter with obviously the maximum kelvins, so 10,000, you'll be able to reach 539 lux with this one. When we talk about lux, depending on the color that you are using, if it's red, 539 lux at 1 meter. If it's green, 280 lux. And if it's blue, 103. When we talk about weight, we are talking about 200 grams, so really light and really compact. When we talk about maximum power, here is the weakest one if you compare to the M20 or even the M40. Obviously the M40 you go up to 40 watts, but even the M20 will be brighter than this one. The same that happens with the Molius X60. If you go to the bicolor, will be brighter than their RGB option. This one goes up to 1950 lux, obviously at maximum kelvins, so 10,000 kelvins at 1 meter. From all the lights, the M20 and the M40, this one is the only one that can do RGB and also can connect to the app, so definitely a plus. If that's something that you want, and definitely that's something that I want to be able to be sitting and controlling my lights, this is a massive plus for you compared to the previous 2 generations. So one of the things that I don't like so much is to turn on these lights from Zhiyun, and if you look here, I need to do a quick one and a long press, and now it's turning on. And the big reasons for that is because it gets super hot, and this one I've done with the Molius X60. That's something that I don't like so much, but just to point it out, that happens, so you need to press one and press a second time, but that is a big difference. So if you have this still connected to a USB-C, it doesn't recognize that this is connected somewhere, and it will not allow you to basically do just a long press like it happens with the Molius X60. So I think that they could change that on firmware, but at the moment is not possible to do. This is just a small complaint that I have, is these numbers here that I found that they are cool, but this is just a sticker, so I like that next time they can basically engrave like they've done here the numbers to let you know which ones you need to close first and which ones you need to close later, because that will be helpful and it will look more part of the design. So that's a very small con, but just to point it out. The only con that I can find on this one is the fact that if you buy this, at least as a combo version, it doesn't come with a wall mount that can provide 30 watts. So majority of the wall mounts that I have around the house to use connected to USB-C, it doesn't deliver the 30 watts. That's a bit frustrating because you will not be able to take the full profit of this light. I have one that it works. I use the one of my computer because now my computer is there and I don't need it anymore because it's connected to my main screen. But if not, I'll have nothing to basically be able to just plug this to the power, and I'll have to buy separately. And like I said, I would like to have an option, or at least a combo pro, that you'll give that out of the box if it makes sense. Anyway, this is my review of this compact light. I have to say that I simply love it, and I think is a must-have. If you have a small studio like me, it will sort you out. And I will be doing next week a comparison between this one and my Molius X60. So if you are curious to know which one wins and which points are better in one and which points are better in the other one, please don't forget to subscribe, comment below, and let me know in the comments below that you really want to see that video. My name is Marco, this is madpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face, and I hope to see you in the next one.